Hello, and welcome to WeThePeople.WTF, the only show where we combine the absurdity of American politics with the thrill of competition. Every episode, we celebrate citizens' voices and make fun of democracy as it declines or dies or does whatever it's doing right now. And I'm thrilled today to be joined by an incredible panel of three comedian guests that we're so pleased to have. The first is coming to us from the Big Apple, but he's somebody that I like to call the Big Sweetheart. His name is Zack White. Zack, how you doing?
Every day's a new devastation, Max.
There's that famous Ohio Midwestern optimism that your people are known for. Excited to have you join us. Also coming to us from Washington, D.C., where I hear everything's awesome and great and nothing is weird at all. It's Bria Beddoe. What's up, Bria?
Hey, thanks for having me. Things are terrible.
Good. I'm sensing a theme in the energy that we're going to have for this episode, and that's really perfect. Finally, joining us from New York as well, we have Marcella Denby. What is your New York state of mind like, Marcella?
I don't. Another day, another day.
Another day. You can just stop there. It's just another day. That's what we're facing. Hey, one day at a time. And that's a perfectly fine way to take things. Well, look, I think we should just jump into the games because hopefully they will give us a little bit of respite from our politics, or at least a way to laugh at it. And starting off, because two of our panelists are from New York, I thought it would be appropriate to do a game related to the mayor's race, which has been a source of some entertainment and some dismay and maybe even some hope throughout the year. But I think for me in particular, what it's driven home is that Eric Adams is one of the worst politicians and the funniest dudes to ever live. That's unassailably true. He absolutely should not be in charge of a major metropolitan area, but I would like to hear him have a quote on anything said ever for basically the rest of the time. And so our first game is going to be something that we're calling Adams Family Values. Because he's known for saying insane things, such as what is now my personal motto, which is, our haters become waiters when you sit down at the table of success. The most beautiful sentence in English I've ever heard. I thought I would throw some quotes at you all and see if you can tell if they are from his mayorness or if they're from someone else with Adam or Adams in their name. See, it's hard to soar with eagles when you're surrounded by turkeys. Now, is that an Eric Adams original or is that said by someone else?
That's Eric Adams.
That it sounds exactly like him. However, it is another person with Adam. It is Adam Sandler said that, according to A to Z Quotes.com, which is where I get all of my information. And we're not sponsored by them. That's an earnest plug. But yeah, that's an Adam Sandler quote. Adam Sandler, an incredibly funny guy everybody loves and absolutely a closet Republican that nobody talks about. So that's fine. Okay, that was sort of a tricky one. Bria, this one is for you. Are you ready? Was it New York's mayor who said, "The first time I traveled abroad, I went to Morocco, and when I was going to go to Morocco, everybody on my block said, 'You better not go to Morocco. Why the hell are you going to Morocco?'"
What? I'm sorry. Okay. A lot of speak of Morocco. So it sounds like it could be Eric Adams. But he's talking about his block. And I feel like Eric Adams is like, I don't know how down he is. I don't know. Can you repeat the phrase?
I was the first person in my family who left the country when I went to Morocco. And everybody on my block said, "Why the hell are you going to Morocco?"
This is a tough one. Because, it could be Eric Adams, but it could be Damon Dash. But you know what? I'm going to say it's Eric Adams.
Bria, that is correct. It is Eric Adams.
Yeah.
The only thing that man loves more than not governing is travel, especially travel to countries with corrupt politicians and infrastructure. Absolutely correct. Great work. Was it, in fact, Mayor Adams who said, "Mercy to the guilty is the same as cruelty to the innocent"?
I don't know who said that, but I don't think he could say that. Do you know what I mean? He says crazy stuff, but it's never like, you don't have to think much about what he said. You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty simple. So I'm going no, and if I'm wrong, then honestly, I'm surprised if I'm wrong. Okay, tell me, I'm ready.
No, you are absolutely correct. Excellent logic leading you to the right answer. That does sound like something that a cop would say to justify a shooting, which I think is why it gets a little Eric Adams adjacent. But that's actually a quote from Adam Smith, one of the founders of capitalism. So when you wonder why our economy is so brutal, it's because it's basically created by guys like that. Wow. Amazing job all around. I think that's an incredibly difficult game. I actually wanted to open up one final quote to all three of you to guess. And you can see if this is an Eric Adams quote or not, now with your collective knowledge. And that quote is, I could walk down the block and some give me a thumbs up, but on another block, some give me the finger. That's just how New Yorkers are. Sometimes I wake up and I give myself the finger.
That is not Eric Adams.
I don't think it's Eric Adams because you brought up New York. So I think like in like gamesmanship, it's too specific.
Giving himself the finger? No, never. Maybe give you the finger. Maybe give some unsuspected woman that is not, his wife the finger. But nah, not himself.
So we have consensus that that's not an Eric Adams quote. Is that what we think?
Except I kind of think it is, but I'm going to go with the majority rules because I don't want to...
No, be yourself. Fuck us. Yeah, fuck us. Who am I? I don't even know you. Do whatever you want to do. Live your best life.
Then I'm happy to say that Marcella, I guess, wins this game by correctly guessing that is, in fact, an Eric Adams quote. What inspires leadership more than someone telling you that they wake up sometimes and give themselves the finger? And knowing Eric Adams, I think that is very possibly an actually true thing that he does. But yeah, amazing job all around. Give yourselves a round of applause. Great work. Our second game, it's a little more basic. It goes back to the fundamentals of politics. And one of the things that politicians are really, really, really good at is just changing their opinion at the drop of a hat. So we are going to give our contestants something that we call the flip-flop challenge, where we're going to give you 90 seconds. You're going to be given one side of an issue, and you're going to argue that side until you hear the bell ding, and then you are to immediately flip-flop and argue the opposite position as hard as you damn can. So that first issue, we're going to have Bria go first. Bria, I'm going to give you a very broad economic topic, inflation. Tell us why inflation is horrible for our pocketbooks until you hear the ding, and then tell us why it's great.
Inflation. Inflation is horrible for your pocketbooks because as a woman like me, I carry a very tiny purse. And so inflation inflates things and it makes them bigger. And so I can't carry all this big stuff in my tiny little purse. I'm a city woman. I don't look cool like that, That's not fun for me. I don't like carrying around heavy things that are big. Also, they make things more expensive. And as a woman with a tiny purse, I need more inflation because how else am I going to be able to pay these bills? I need big, heavy things in my purse. Yes, I'm talking about purses a lot because as a woman, I don't have many other things to cling on to. That's my emotional support thing. That's where all my money is. If I would have any, but I don't have any because inflation is making everything so expensive, which is awful. Have you seen how much a can of tuna costs? I don't know how much a can of tuna costs because I don't have any money. And you know what? We don't really need any money. And I'm glad that inflation has come around and made things better because I have completely forgotten which side I'm arguing on. And I'm just happy that we have a president in office that can make sure that we have enough inflation in office so I don't have to worry about bills because bills are dumb. Who pays them anyway? Not me. I don't have any money. Yeah, screw that. I love inflation. Inflation is amazing. It's great for America. It's got what plants crave. It's got electrolytes. And everybody loves those. Come on now, people. What are we talking about? All hail the king. We've got inflation.
Amazing job, Bria. Truly amazing. I think that even though you might have lost the thread a little bit there, you absolutely did the thing politicians do, which is just keep talking through your confusion. And I really admire that. That was excellently done. Okay, so Marcella, you are going to be up next. You have not an economic topic, but a technological one. And specifically the hot topic, everybody's talking about it and has been talking about it too much probably, which is AI. So some people say AI is taking jobs and it's destroying our natural resources, and tell us why that's a bad thing until you hear the bell, and then tell us why it actually rules.
AI is bad because it is bad at drawing. I don't like seeing AI art. Often when I look at AI art, I feel uncomfortable and I don't know why. Because I see it and I think, oh, that looks like a person, but it slightly isn't like a person. And it's because there's maybe weird teeth happening, a lot of fingers, something strange. And I do not like the art that I see. I do not like the writing, but I also like it a little because I do like the writing a little because, you know what? That's not how people write. And it's funny to watch something that's not how people are. Because you really can look at yourself and say, thank you, AI, for reminding me how good I am and my humans around me are, because we are better than you are at writing. And that makes me feel joyous. It makes me look around and see the people I see and just say, you could probably write something better than this computer, and I'm proud to say that out loud. And that makes me hate it, because I think, what the heck are you doing? Even trying to write or draw when we should be the only ones. So it's hard to describe how much I hate it. I almost wish I could ask ChatGPT to write it for me, but that wouldn't be fair. That would be like chicken eating a chicken nugget.
Excellently argued. Excellently argued. I do really like the argument that AI should make us appreciate people more, so it's actually good. That's really perfect. All right, Zach. Well, you actually have what is probably the most incendiary and difficult to talk about of these topics. Those little yellow tic-tac shaped freaks called the Minions. I want you to start by telling us why the Minions are good. When you hear the bell, switch to telling us why they're bad. And then, yeah, maybe even an existential threat to the American family, some would say. But whenever you're ready, Zach, take it away.
I think Minions are good because, like, at the end of the day, if you really boil it down to it, they're just, like, silly little guys who talk weird. And I do think that's, like, one of the fundamentals of comedy. Like, a little guy just going, ba-da-da. Like, I think kids love it for a reason. Like, they're little dudes. They're not hurting anybody. Tell you what, I watched Minions recently because I've been babysitting a small child, and not very good. Despicable Me definitely went downhill. But the Minions overall, I think, are specifically good. I jumped the gun on getting negative, but now I can really get into it. I don't like the Minions because it's like, learn how to talk. It's not hard. You know what I mean? It's like if I was in a movie, I would know how to talk in that movie. But they made a whole movie around these little guys, and it's like they don't even talk to each other. They're just like slapping each other. They don't have any conflict avoidance skills. And it's like, that's a terrible workplace. Get it together. It's embarrassing. And also, Gru's got a big nose. I don't like that. I don't know. Fuck, dude. Cut that.
Wow. Amazing argumentation, Zach. Driven home with an incredible drop. No, I think it's really shows you the divide in this country on the Minions. I think you correctly portrayed sort of the two sides, and as polarization grows, I think, you can tell somebody's politics as simple as what they think of the Minions. It says something. But incredible work. I felt like I was dealing with real politicians. Not really, because you guys give me good vibes and I didn't feel creeped out. So not actually like real politicians, but very close, which means it's time to wrap up with our flagship game, which we call Sign o' the Times. As you know, this show exists in part to have a good time while we talk about politics, but also to celebrate citizens' voices. And Americans are kind of entering an unprecedented era of protest. And they're not just doing that, they're kind of having a good time when they do it. Whether that means wearing a costume, whether that means writing a witty sign, people are really showing up and showing out. So we asked our panelists to take a look at some recent protests and protest signs and folks and pick out their very favorite ones. So we're going to have them present this to you. Once our contestants give our pitch, you will be able to vote on the winner. And to do that, again, you're going to be going to WeThePeople.WTF. You can register with your email. And if you do that, you'll be entered in a sweepstakes to win $1,000. And that's $1,000 more dollars than I have in my pocket right now. So I'd encourage you to do that. But here we go. We're going to have folks pitch your protest signs. I was going to have you go first, Marcella. So please tell us why you picked your sign and why.
So I love when people talk about their relationships with their dad. It's one of my favorite questions to ask when I'm trying to get to know someone. For example, on a first date or when I just met someone just now, I like to cut to the chase. And so anything that talks about a relationship with a dad and a young man like a son, I'm very interested in that. And I also love thinking that nothing is my fault. So I like that and I relate to it because it's not relatable for everyone. Some people, it is their fault. Like perhaps this person that we are rallying against, it might be his fault, but it's not my fault. And I love that statement. So, and it's not our fault that his dad didn't love him. I also think it's important to bring up love.
It's really beautiful. And I do think that this is one of the rare protest signs that you could probably bring to most like things in history where something fucked up is happening. And you're like, well, yeah, there's probably a dude at the top of this whose dad did not love him. That's probably ultimately where this is coming from.
Yes. And I think it's one of those signs you can frame it and you can smash the frame, take it out when you need it for the next protest. It's a great one to make and keep at home and use forever and ever, because it's probably going to be necessary later for some other cool thing.
Well, if you agree, you can go and vote for Marcella's sign. But next up, Zack White, you picked out a different little protest moment. Am I right?
Yeah, I picked a polar bear with a sign that says "I Heart America" because I love polar bears, and embarrassingly, I do still love this country. And you know what? What can you do, baby? I have the dead eyes of a man who's not doing awesome, but I'll tell you one thing: I love polar bears. And I love this country, so thank you and God bless.
Are you worried that both seem to be sort of equally threatened on an existential level?
Nah, I think things are fine, probably.
That's good. That's radical optimism is really important. And I like, as Marcella said, both your signs, they involve love. I think that says a lot right now, you know?
I think, as we drift forward, we gotta remember the good things, and we gotta remember the positives. And I do genuinely believe that. What can you do, man?
What can you do? Almost its own protest sign. Sort of not pro-apathy, but at least acknowledging it. Well, if you love America and love polar bears like Zack, you can go and vote for this sign as well. And that leaves Bria. Bria, what sign did you pick for us?
I'm glad you asked. So I have this one. It says, "No faux king way." It's got everything you love. It's got French. Who doesn't love the French language? Almost dying, so some people maybe not, but not me. I'm a fan. And then king, that's why we're all here. We don't want a king. And like faux meaning fake, like he's a fake king because like he wouldn't be a real king because he's not the stuff that monarchs are made of at all. Also, it's a swear. I love curse words. Who doesn't love a curse word out in the open? It's family friendly. The kids don't know. And they're like, faux king. And you're like, yeah, you can say faux king. Mommy, what's faux king? Like, it's just going over the kids' heads. I love that. I love that kids are dumb. And I love that French is cool. And I love curse words. So this is just the perfect sign for me.
Absolutely. I like that was an anti-child, pro-monarchy, pro-French, pro-cursing. That's a very...
In this economy.
And, sometimes when people curse, they call it, they say, pardon my French. So a connection there or random words that I'm associating. It's hard to tell where comedy begins and that ends. But amazing job, Bria. Excellent presentation. Everybody, again, can go vote on these. If you go to WeThePeople.WTF, you can vote there. You get to pick which sign wins. And again, with your email, you're entered into a sweepstakes to win 1,000 American dollars, which, as Zack White has said, we love this country because it's where our dollars come from. And who can't appreciate that? But look, we'd love if you drop a comment below, if you follow us, or smash the subscribe button if that is applicable. But before we go, I want to let our panelists all give a second to let people follow them. Zack, Bria, Marcella, let's go in that order. Tell folks where they can follow you or if you're working on something. I know, Zack, you have a joke book that you've made. Am I correct?
Yeah, I'm the author of the DIY zine 101 Jokes to Share with Your Friends. So if you see a dude with a little table outside selling the book in Tompkins Square Park, that's this guy.
All right. Oh, I guess I'll go next. You can follow me at Bria Beddoe Comedy on Instagram and TikTok. I do a lot of rants. I do stand-up comedy. I'm in a sketch comedy group and we do stuff. And if you like Black people, everybody in the sketch group is Black. So that's fun, right? Something for everybody. Follow me on those platforms. And thank you for having me, guys.
Sorry, I was just looking off because I'm in my apartment and the cat just did a really crazy jump. So I want to do a quick shout out to the cat for doing a crazy jump. And also, I have Instagram. It's my first and last name, Marcella Denby. So got that one. And I do stand-up comedy and other stuff. And I'd love to be your friend as well. But yeah, the cat's crazy. Anyway, but mostly thank you guys for having me. This has been very fun. And yeah, I love games.
Very happy to have you. And I'm currently watching my cat off screen, and she is not moving in a puddle-like formation where she's been for several hours. So really a lot of feline differences over here.
And that's what I'm about to do after this call.
Excellent. Well, thank you, everybody, for watching WeThePeople.WTF. Until next time, remember, it's your right to be pissed off at the government and pursue life, liberty, and comedy. Have a great one. See you soon. Bye.